Hey guys, today the topic will be on the importance of monitoring the market and also the importance of exit timing as such, whether you are just entering or also exiting the market. Okay, and then today I'll just share some new data compared to the past few times. Okay, and then one of the small things I wanted to share today is something that happened just today. One of my leads basically went to buy something through another agent, but of course they dangle some a under table benefits agreement lah, which I think I don't have a say because that is something that is illegal and I'm not going to be doing it. But at the end of the day, I think I hope good luck to both of them lah. And because what they are buying is actually I find is a very high risk product, which really requires quite very good market timing skills in order to exit well. Later, we'll see some examples on that. And of course, losing this deal doesn't matter that much to me because I know it's losing because of some under table matters, which I probably wouldn't be able to have much control over. But okay, so anyway, let's just go ahead. Disclaimer, whatever I share today is just based on my own point of view and doesn't represent any other people's research or views. Okay, and then we just go ahead. Okay, so this is the picture that kind of like wraps up some of the cases that I've been facing recently. One is about the case just now, and the other one just a few weeks back when the buyer went to buy something that I feel there's quite a lot of risk at this point in the market. And then I've been reminding them, and then they decided to go ahead. I mean, the thing about people is when it comes to the property market, they always feel that they have their own point of view, their own so-called common logic, which they feel ever since now, maybe the elders tell them here and there, that's what they hear say, but then they don't have access because the thing is, to have access to all these people property data, you need to pay money. And the problem is people do not wish to pay money. And then they just hop onto, online and go and find some articles and then go and find some data here and there, which they think is genuine. And then they will just go ahead and make their decisions. And then when I myself am on the ground and been looking at data like for so many developments in Singapore, almost a lot of Southeast Asia everywhere. And then you spot a certain trend and you tell them, sometimes yes, I do lose deals, but at the end of the day, I think it's a fun thing sometimes, to like to be sitting on the couch and watching things burn. Because at the end of the day, yes, I do maybe lose some deals, lose some money, but at the end of the day, I'm not having any monetary loss. Okay, so it's sometimes fun to watch the world burn in that sense. And then, okay, so what I realized from this the experience today is that honesty is a very expensive gift. We cannot expect from cheap people. Like, to be honest, I think I kind of sense that what happened today was coming. So I deliberately withheld some information because usually I will only unleash whatever information that I feel is most important only at the very end when they are about to make a decision. Because sometimes I know in this market where people, there are quite a lot of underhand methods here and there, and then it's only until the final stage where I feel when they really trust me, they really trust that they need to make that transition through me, then I will give my all and give all the information that I have to them. And thankfully they didn't this buyer didn't choke the unit that I feel is the best for them. In fact, and then that also means that I get to reserve a better unit for my other buyers lah. Okay, so I think this phrase is a good thing. It's a good thing I have that sensing, and I'm glad I withheld the information. So anyway, when it comes to buying a property, it's a very important thing about exit points. So why a lot of people always say, okay, today I enter the PSF is not so high, to the name is good, or maybe today I enter the PSF high, maybe next time I can sell higher because this view is awesome here and there. But when you look at data, you realize that yes, high floor units are very attractive. They are very nice. But when you buy at a premium, you need to be very careful when it comes to exiting because it's not that easy. Because usually they are priced very, very, very expensive compared to the others. Like for example, this particular unit that this buyer bought is like 600 PSF above the lowest floor. And then what is the margin point? And if that's the case, how are you going to explore, especially in a high growth area? How are you going to exit at the right time? Okay, so for example, this is an example of a high growth area in another area. This few are older ones. The green one is the newest, obviously, followed by the blue one, and then followed by the purple one, and then finally the yellow one. And you see what happened. This guy over here has been picking ever, so probably picking at around 2012 to about 2013, and then ever since till now, it has been pretty much stagnant. And then that would have been the exit point, because you would have said, hey, TT, this one is the exit point, ma, and then I can also exit here, ma. But the thing is, throughout this 8+9 years, your interest causes and all your other causes starts creeping in. Definitely, you would have been a much better place by exiting here compared to here. Right? Makes sense? Because those of you who, if you whip out a calculator, you take a look at your loan documents, your loan mortgage documents, you realize that your interests are not cheap, especially including your maintenance fee, etc. Okay. On the other hand, you also have this second guy over here. Till now, he hasn't been able to exit well. Even till today, he has been below. Okay, so obviously this was the window period. And then same goes for the blue guy. People will think that, since it's a high growth area, I have a lot of transformation going on, convenience, the location is so good. What can happen, right? And this is basically what's happening. This guy, TOP, or I think probably around TOP period, this is the peak, which would have been a good exit point. And then you see, yes, he's managed to come back, but would this guy have managed to exit at a better point as compared to this? And then look at this new guy here, is still running. So it is very important to be able to monitor the market well, and then know the dynamics of the place. What is the supply? How much is your competitor selling? What kind of units are moving? And then all this you take into account, and then you use all this data to your advantage to help you determine which is the right time, what is the right price to exit. Which I will say, most people in this market, and even I would say maybe even some people or rather most people even in the industry won't be able to tell, because they don't spend enough time exploring whatever data that we have. Okay, and on the other hand, this was the previous market peak, TDSR, and then see basically the market got wrecked. And then what happened was will this have been the best exit point? Actually, no, what? Because this guy is over here. And then you realize that, TT, whatever you say lah, because you look at the back data, ma, that's what some of you say, ma, right? Like some of you want to say, whatever you high side is perfect. But the thing is, if you take a look and spot all these patterns, you will realize that there's always a common pattern. And I can replicate this example in north, south, east, west area of Singapore, because I have seen this model, this type of development, and then it's always very consistent, very congruent kind of data. Yeah, so obviously, over time, this will be, I would say, it is quite predictable to see this kind of trend happening. Would this have been the right exit plan? I wouldn't say so. I would say maybe if you want to exit here, if you got other plans, better. If you don't have other plans, maybe I would say even hold. I have told one of my clients to hold onto something that I know there's quite a lot of growth in his area. So he asked me whether to sell. I told him to hold, because there is no hurry. If he's not going to need the money, he's not having other plans with the property, then why do you need to sell? Because there is going to be much more growth coming out for his property. Same goes for this one. This one is a very popular place, right next to MRT, right in front of MRT. And then you you take a look, and you can see that the peak has already went past. This would have been a perfect exit point for those people who even enter here and exit around here. And today they would be, if they held on, this will have been a bad place to hold on to. Same goes for this one. Went up, and then this probably would have been the exit period, ideal exit period. And today, if they didn't, then this whole period they would have been holding on to, not say losses lah. I would say if those people who got in here would have been holding on to paper losses, because today the development is not worth as much as it was at that point. Will be able to climb back? I think a little bit difficult, because there is a more attractive competitor in the area. Okay, so this is an example of another high growth area. This one in the blue is older, coming out of the tree. And then you look at this whole period of time, there hasn't been much growth in terms of pricing, in terms of value. But you look at the movement of the chart. Okay, so this would have been the right exit time. And then for this one, the green one, I would have said that obviously those who bought here cannot sell within this period, so this would have been a valid pick. But I would say maybe this whole part, they will be able to exit and maybe possibly to move on to something else. Okay, if I actually this whole period of time there were a lot of opportunities. So if you know how to exit and plan your next purchase, you would have been, yes, maybe if you hold on to this, maybe you would have seen another 100 PSF. But we have seen developments that have moved 500 to 600 PSF in the same span of time. So is it worth it to be holding on to this for this gain? Okay. It really depends on what are your priorities. Like if you are trying to make money out, make the maximum amount of money out of this whole situation, then probably you may want to think otherwise. And same goes for the yellow one. It's been surging. So why is it surging? Why is there the reason why is it surging? Is it for this particular area? Is more of the characteristic of the next supply. And now we look at the hard data. So for example, just now the case that I was looking, they were looking at high floor unit. So of course, high floor unit, did they make money? They made some money, but they didn't make the most amount of money because the one that was done is in the middle floor. But on the other hand, there were people who lost money, quite a lot of money. And then you can see this window for them to get out was very tight. This was done in October 2020. This was done just a few months later. And what exactly happened? How tight was that window of opportunity was to make almost 100K profit to losing as much as 35K loss. So what's the count difference? Okay, well, how will you be able to reduce chances of that happening to you? Is your consultant, is your agent able to help you monitor the market such that you are able to avoid this kind of loss? Because you see, 100K gain and a loss of 35K is not a difference of just 100K. If you add up, this a total 135K difference. And today, because you want some benefits, or maybe I don't know, maybe 5 to 10K worth of benefits, or whatever arrangement they have, and then you miss out on this 150K difference. I think it's a very myopic point of view lah. Okay, but then again, that's what quite a lot of buyers nowadays are. They are very greedy about the upfront discount, but they don't think about the exit plans, because a lot of people feel to plan far ahead. It's like how many people will be thinking, oh, today I'm buying a forever home, and then most, I would say, quite a significant percentage of people will end up usually having thoughts about moving within the next 3 to 5 years, and this has always been happening and happening and happening. Okay, I mean, for those of you watching video, you ask yourself how many times you have been planning to buy or thinking of shifting places. Okay, I would say quite a lot of you already, or in fact, I myself is like that. I bought my first house thinking I'm going to stay there forever, and guess what? 4 to 5 years later, I'm already entertaining serious thoughts about moving, and there I am, exited already. Okay, same goes for the other one. This one, the first owner let go with a profit of $400,000+, then hit the market peak, and then till now, after how many years? This is the same exact unit. Okay, after 7 years of holding, he let go. He cannot be let go at 95K worth of 95K worth of losses. Okay, and then same goes for this one. 9 months apart, only 9 months apart, one floor lower. This guy is even higher than this one. This guy is one floor lower, made 14 times, 17.5 times the profit, and only 9 months apart. And this guy to this guy, difference of 1 year, 8 months, made 30.8 times worth of profits, and for only one level higher only. So you can see how timing is very important in that sense. And for those of you who you haven't seen this yet, these are profits. This whole line is profit. Profit of $1 million to here, just one level lower only is making a difference, a profit drop of 47%, worth of profit being, I would say, not realized because of difference of 5 months apart. So we can see window of opportunity is actually not as generous. And for those of you thinking, now the market is very hot. In fact, the nearer I hold on to my current, like where we are right now, most likely you're going to be holding more gains. Actually, no, you realize that the golden window opportunity seems to be this period. And then now the exit actually is getting lesser and lesser, the exit profits, okay, for this development. And then the next one also, on the other hand, you can see we are all in the same local market, but having the very different characteristics when it comes to the exiting profits because every single area there are quite a lot of differences. Okay, and then you see this guy here, this one and this one, difference of 2.5 years, 1 fall lower only. This guy is making 67 this guy is making 67% more than this one. And then this one to this one were just 1 year apart. This one was 2.5 years apart, and then this one 1 year apart, make 2.4 times the amount of profits. And the worst part is this guy is actually 9 floor lower than this guy. And I'm very sure this guy would, if he held on to 1 year later to what now, he would have been able to make quite a lot of difference. Why? Because there is recently quite a lot of there's quite some things happening in the area lah. Okay, if you want to know what is it happening in this area, then you can PM me and I'll share with you. But these are confidential data, and that's why I cannot share publicly online with for the full address. Okay, and okay, then this one also. By the way, just now this one, you realize that this example is the opposite of the previous example where the peak was somewhere in the middle. But this one, the peak was somewhere now instead. In fact, was higher, this is higher. The valley was actually in the middle. Two very different characteristics you can see, right? For the other one is you realize the peak is somewhere more in the middle part. Okay, and then this one is this one to here, two levels more, and then 119%, which is basically about 1.2 times the amount of profits, and only 10 months apart. Okay, imagine today you buy a property, you will need at least minimum 3 years in order to avoid the seller's stamp duty. But just by holding 10 months apart, you gain whatever, all the nonsense you've gone through, all the people you've gone through, all the trouble you've done here and there, and then you would have made another times, or rather 1.2 times more than you made in just a span of 10 months. Okay, how frustrating would have been, right? And then the same goes for this one. Imagine just 3 months apart, you make 55.8% more. And the thing is, this one is even one level lower. Okay. Now, this one is a very popular area, I would say. Okay, very popular area. A walking distance to MRT, also very iconic development. And let's see. This one to here, just a difference of 3 years apart. Flip managed to flip. This guy is even 8 floors lower. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, 8 floors lower. Okay, and let's see. Difference of this one lost 320K, and 3 years later, this guy made 325K. A difference of total $645,000, or rather $646,000 for something that is 8 floors lower and also 3 years later. So if you held on 3 years longer, you would have been able to cut your loss from $300,000 plus $320,000 loss to transform it to a $325,000 gain, which would have made you which would have provide you with a gap of $646,000. And on the other hand, you got this guy over here didn't lose as much, and then 2.5 years later made this amount of money. We would have been in a much better place, right? So as you can see, the property market is not that simple. Same goes for the stock market, same goes for whatever crypto market. It's just that the latter has a lot more uncertainty as compared to the property market in Singapore, because we have the sheer amount of cooling measure makes it a lot more predictable than the stock market where it's largely unregulated. You have like, you can dismiss, you can say that, you know, insider trading is illegal, but how can you stop them? It's very hard to stop these kind of people. But when it comes to property, it's a lot more regulations because it's all tangible assets, things you can see, and then it's very hard to manipulate the market in the property market. But then again, sometimes it doesn't mean that you put in the effort, you put in the time to go and research on your own, and then you will be able to stop yourself from making the mistakes. But sometimes you need a logic. It doesn't. I'm not saying that, you know, those of you who do your research, you have no logic. It's just that everyone has different expertise. Whatever you, no matter what, most of the time you are facing one or maximum two transactions at a time. But we on the ground, we are facing multiple transactions across different segments of the market, and then we are able to piece all these patterns together, and that would help in terms of the logic. And by adding in the effort and the time, all these would have given us, those of us who do our homework, who do our data, would have been able to give us a much better edge over the rest of the market. Okay, and that's why it is very important to find the right trusted consultant where you are able to help you monitor the market well. And it is always not that easy because it spends a lot of time. I basically, a lot of times I mean, I love it. I really like looking at data, but I spend a lot of time looking at data, analyzing them. And I'm very sure there's very few other people in the market that spend as much time as I do looking at the data. And that's why a lot of you mentioned, or, you know, comments on, you know, my analysis and the objective and here and there. It's very hard for me to lie through my teeth. If I observe certain patterns across the market and then I present it to you, it's very hard for me to lie because it would be very hard for me to say whatever I say without conviction. And for all this presentation that I do and I share online, I do not have a script. And that's why in fact, I have one viewer who told me last time that, hey, I'm very sure you have a script. No, I don't have a script. And he was shocked that I don't even have a script. I mean, why would I need a script? Because whatever I've learned through looking at all this data, it would have given me the edge to, or, you know, whatever I've seen, I'll be able to interpret on the spot. So by having a script, it makes it even harder for me to share data, and I feel more stress. In fact, nowadays when I do all kinds of sharing, I don't like having scripts because it makes it basically I hate things that are scripted. It's so fake, right? Okay, so all this requires time and effort, a lot of hours looking at the screen. Yes, I like looking at the data, but not everyone loves looking at the data. And some agents, they do more of a sales tactic, you know, all these kind of funny things behind the table, under the table, here and there. But for me, it's simple. I look at numbers, and that's why for those of you who, you know, I want a nice view, I want today I want to enter at this high price, I don't care whatever it is. You realize that it's very hard for me to help you. Okay, I realize my weakness is that I admit that it's very hard for me to help you because it's very hard for me to connect to you if your aim is not to make money. But if your aim is to maybe even not lose money, then I'll be able to help you. But if your aim is just pure emotional need, then I would think you probably need a much more salesy agent. Somebody who can tell you, oh, you know, imagine this view, imagine you wake up to this view, which is totally not my style. So please, if you do need my advice in terms of numbers and you're worried about the money that you put in, then please, you can come to me. But if you're looking for somebody to make you feel good because whatever you want, you want somebody to praise you, you want somebody to make you feel good, then I think I'm definitely not the right person for the job. Okay, and hence, yes, I think it's also very important that you respect people who put in the time and effort to research all this data. And then don't just, you know, come to me because you already have another agent. You know you're going to stick with the agent. Then please come to me because, to be honest, I feel you're wasting my time. I think, and the thing is, yes, I don't mind sharing some things, but please don't expect me to be fully honest with you if I can sense that you are not honest with me. So I think respect goes both ways. If you feel that maybe you can give me a shot because you really feel that it's very hard for you to find somebody who can give you objective data, then of course please come to me. But if you already set your mind, like what I said, you got a close friend that is in this line, you got somebody who's going to give you whatever under table arrangement, then I think it's very important that you respect people's time lah. Okay. Yep, I think that is all we have for today. And any other things, then please, feel free to contact me. All right, see you guys. Bye bye.